to get the lose guaranteed, or you can mash because the cursor starts in the position where you need to hit X to move. Well, that's a lie. It starts one frame after. The first frame that you can hit an X input is actually a position where you won't lose. So if I'm mashing X here and I get a frame perfect X input, it's bad. But I still want to mash quickly because the frame window for losing is still pretty small. So it's really weird. I just mash and hope I get the frame perfect one, and if I don't, I have to pause buffer. But I don't have to do it just yet. So Fargo will hit north every single time here, which is why this works. And I want to hit the X input when the cursor is somewhere between north and east. So my first frame available, it's still on north. And let's see if we get it. Okay, we got it.
Nice.
So then we
Game of
lose
luck,
as
not
fast as
skill.
possible without having to pause. And then we can keep advancing the story. I'm getting messaged on Skype by Kane. He's talking about nothing to do with the marathon, even though I know he's watching the marathon.
Kane, please.
Kane is the guy who helped us to translate a thing that's going to happen tomorrow. I won't spoil it.
It's pretty awesome.
So it's really weird. He yells at this cat,
Yeah.
and then later on when we're cats, we take the handle from right in front of his face and he doesn't seem to care. But we get to get turned into cats now. Door, please. Like even walking, you could see I had to wiggle back and forth to get the magic place to open it.
Interacting with things in this game is just not fair.
The reason why is that it accepts, it's weird, like it accepts analog input and is more than like a directional analog, so it's real analog. Unlike FF7, if you use an analog controller, it's basically just using a D-pad. So it has real analog input, but everything was coded assuming you were using a D-pad. So like, if you use the D-pad, you'll interact with the door perfectly every time, but you have to be walking right and then left instead of cutting the triangle to do it. Yeah?
FF Gamer wants you to know that he's watching from Vegas and wishes you good luck.
Okay. Thank you, FF Gamer. Originally, he thought he wouldn't even be able to see the stream, so it's good to know. Yeah, so that's why it's a rigged competition. And this is sad. Sneff was trying to get money to buy us cat food.
I know. You didn't even let him win that one.
He sees us and he's like, oh, cats, whatever. Who cares? Even though I just yelled at that other cat. Then he's gonna sit down and we're gonna take the handle to his machine, and he still doesn't care. You can talk to that cat, by the way. While you're a cat, you can talk to it.
I remember that. I forget what he says though.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's been a long time. I'm not going to do it in a
You
marathon.
didn't talk to him, man.
That says donate to JD.
Yeah, clearly.
That's a surprisingly, like,
Surprising foresight.
yeah. He really knew what was coming.
Yeah, Salt and Pepper in this world are performers because all of the Dragoons are off missing and they don't know what to do. They actually lost their memory after washing up on shore afterwards. I think it was actually after, in this world, it was after the incident with Karsh and Dario in the Isle of the Damned. They washed up without their memory. And then Sneff finds them and takes them in and teaches them to be performers. Yes, Lank and Stout. They have a really bad stand-up routine, and if you enter the stage when it's not forced to be Snef, you can run into them and have to listen to their stand-up routine. It's wonderful.
Yeah. By awful, you mean wonderful.
Huh, sure. Hey, Meta? Meta, can you get me my sandwich?
Yes.
It's in the door of the fridge and it says Railcoon on it.
Got it.
Meta sleeper.
And yes, that is the one thing that tells you that Nikki is Marvel's.
Yeah. And they tell you again later.
Yep.
Sandwich.
Sandwich complete.
Carbonara from yesterday, or
Yeah. And then you don't have to press any buttons on this game because he loses automatically.
Hey, Poxwood, can you have it mute 4?
Oh, I'm opening this up.
Halfway point. Almost halfway point.
You can see me every time I go through a door, switching to the claw really quick. It's so stupid. He's like so confident. I'll go first.
welp.
Every time I see that, I just think, impossible. Impossible.
I just knew impossible.
Can you get me another water?
Did you actually already go through 2?
My second one's almost dead, yeah.
I actually have the second one sitting here that you can make use of later as well.
You have what?
An extra one sitting right there
Yeah.
that you can make use of as well.
Well, he's offering to get me water, so.
Yeah. In case you get to a 4th, given that you've already gone through 2 and it's
So
like
this is
4 hours.
This is a fun part. You're supposed to follow the sage, but you don't need to. You just need to run in and out of the doorway several times.
It's literally Scooby-Doo.
Well, it's Scooby-Doo when you do it as intended. And it's funny because then he appears in front of you because you were supposed to have followed him, but then he just teleports sideways.
As you can see, I'm quite busy going in and out of doors.
So much. So busy.
This is very important.
Much sweep. Very wow. Yeah, I went there.
You sure did. Now you're making me want my sandwich. Thanks.
Thanks for the 2 stamina turn, Mr. Sage. So yeah, I can select Lagoon it before it appears on the screen.
Seeing things is overrated.
You'll also notice that there are a couple forced fights coming up, and I will not kill anything with Sprig on purpose. Because when you kill something with Sprig, then it gets added to her transformation list. And I want to keep that as short as possible because currently Lagoonit is straight down at the bottom of the list. And when I get the White Knight coming up, that will be in the same place that Lagoonit is right now. If I kill anything else, it'll change the position and I'll have to do extra inputs.
All the time.
Yep, every single time I want to transform, I'll have to do extra inputs. So the Sage is actually pretty nasty, but his pattern is very easy to manipulate because his pattern depends on what color elements you cast on him. And if you never cast elements on him, all he does is attack you with physical hits. And this is why Sprig is amazing. The thing about Sprig is that Sprig doesn't have stat growth. What the hell? What's going on? Sprig only takes the stats of the monster that she's transforming to, and as she gains stats as a character, those don't transfer into the monster she's transforming to. So the only way you can make Sprig better is by getting better monsters to transform into. But I'm about to get a monster that there's only one of in the entire game, and teach Sprig to transform into it. And then after that, there's really no going up. because it is like stat-wise, when what you get from monsters is pretty much the best in the game since there's only one. If you go down that ladder, you can go to the Grand Slam, which is how you need to recruit the character Janice. She's your opponent in this monster fighting minigame. And if you beat her 3 times, then she joins your party. And the White Knight is actually the strongest monster you can get in the Grand Slam. And this is where it tells you again that Fargo is Nikki's father, in case you didn't get it the first time. So this one is safe to read on stream. The next place we're going to visit is called the Dead Sea Entrance. And then we're going to learn that we can't go to the Dead Sea yet. So in my notes it just says nope.avi.
Nope.
Nope.
I like the sound effect that you made there. It's good.
Yeah, it was the best I could really approximate without putting too much energy into it.
No, it's pretty accurate to the thing.
Let me throw.
I wish you could take cat form like through to the rest of the game.
I know, it'd be amazing.
It's already a cat.
You have to use the cat form to unlock the Save Marbiel side quest, though. Because if you go up to the deck as a cat, you can get in the other ship when you're not supposed to be able to. They will.
I forgot about that.
Well, actually, that's how you're supposed to do it. There will be a guy who's supposed to be stopping you from getting there, but he's not there if you're a cat.
Now that you like.
Or you can do it after fighting the sage, because then Nikki says he wants to talk to you on a ship.
It's not that you like sneak past him as a cat. It's just that no, being a cat magically makes him phase into non-existence. Logic. He
Pretty
becomes
much,
a
yeah.
wrecked soul.
Yeah, that guy is one of the soul savers.
So we have to do this in this particular order, even though it means I'm driving my boat a little bit in a counterintuitive path, because you don't get the item you need to progress through the Isle of the Damned until Radius gives it to you, and he doesn't want to give it to you until you've triggered this scene. Forgetting which ones are empty at this point.
Shall we move the empty ones away? That is totally possible. It's no use.
Too slow.
Yeah. That's almost like I read your mind.
Fulgen knows what I'm referring to.
That was a good mind reading pose though.
You need more than one finger on each side of your head, though. Like at
Well,
least 2.
I'm just going off
That's
what
where
he
my
did.
point is.
So this is where we learned that we need the Einlancer to continue, which is very convenient because it's Glenn's best weapon, and it gets given to you as part of the main storyline. Unless you get the second Einlancer, though, Glenn falls a little bit short of Surge. But the problem is that by the point where I can get the Einlancer without wasting time, then, like, there's only a few bosses left. And the whole cutscene involved around getting the Einlancer is about 2.5 minutes. So it doesn't actually save any time to get the second one, which is kind of sad because Glenn looks like a total action hero with the double swords. It's amazing. The poses he makes are just incredible. So I definitely recommend picking it up if you've never done that before in your casual playthrough. Just go to Termina with Glenn and the Einlancer and then visit the grave site and he'll get the second sword. You have to do it in another world, though, not in Homeworld.
Incidentally, Gurai was like literally a giant.
Oh, yeah. What I don't get is why when Dario is possessed by the evil of the Master Mune, Gurai appears over him, like, as a spirit. Like...
Nothing about anything in this makes sense. Do you want me to open your thing for you?
What?
No, you're good.
I'm
You're
good.
all good. You got this.
Actually, I need to move here in a second.
Do you need a napkin?
No, yeah.
You have a napkin. You're all set here. What could be wrong? This is a legendary sword.
Look at the creepy face in the background. On the left.
I love Radius's
It looks
power.
like he's smiling, that creepy face. Look
It's creepypasta's
at-
creepypasta returns.
Radius, this is where we learned that Radius is actually just a jerk. Well, not yet, when we get to Jirai. But the thing
Speaking of
here is that
jerks.
Radius, when he comes out of his house, when you talk to him, you'll get teleported back to the world map. So we follow him up here to the door to talk to him as soon as he appears again. There's nothing you can do to speed this up either. You just gotta wait. Because it's realism. He goes into his house and starts looking.
Yep. Oh, there he is.
And it's so real that he starts by turning around to come back out the door.
Let us be off to the Isle of the Damned.
And all of a sudden, we're back on the world map. The Isle of the Damned, which is right next to my house.
Hey, prime real estate.
Totally not a coincidence. Totally.
Most importantly, it was priced to move.
Yeah, you got a good deal since it was, you know,
Location,
bad
location, location.
You should buy now. Property values are going to skyrocket.
So this is an introduction to this enemy type. In this dungeon, when you kill these, they explode. And that little explosion causes things to unlock. And for some reason, Harley does extra damage to these enemies. I have no idea why. She does more than she should, given her stats.
Boy, that was
Button mash, really?
effective.
He's not button mash anymore. For this whole section, he's named Lynx.
Yeah, it's fun there. He's an evil guy.
You're gonna throw it anyway, and it's gonna miss? Oh, nice. A useless crit. Meta, Moonbutt's killing things.
I am very pleased with this.
Oh god, do not confuse her. Do not confuse her. Do not confuse her. One of the red status effects that can land, especially on Mega Burst, is confusion. I don't understand why. She's confused. And I also can't kill things with Sprig. If I kill them with Sprig, she learns to transform into them. So this is going to be a problem.
It's always my favorite attack. The animation is just great.
That's just not quite enough to kill them. And that's going to land and kill Sprig, isn't it? Oh, the animation she did made me think that it hit.
No, she's not confused anymore, at least.
Yeah, one attack and she breaks from confusion. It's a little bit nice like that, a little bit more like Pokemon, instead of usual Final Fantasy, where confusion just lasts for days.
Yeah, well, except in my runs.
The one thing, I guess they do that because in this game you can't hit your own party members to snap them out of confusion.
Right. I keep seeing Moonbutt and reading it as Mr. Butt, and
Mr. Butt?
I actually think that's funnier than Moonbutt in a lot of ways.
Mr. Butt.
Mr. Butt.
Right, so the reason why explaining the way that Will-O-Wisp works and the way it explodes is we need that to find the one white knight in the game. Because we want to kill that with Sprig so that Sprig can transform into it. What the hell? Why didn't that work?
Sprig can transform into what the hell?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
that is what she can transform into.
So right here, I need to lead this Will-O-Wisp all the way over there, which involves walking. Otherwise, I get too far away, as you can see. Come on, lock on to me. Now it's too close. Come back here! I can't be too close though, because when I make this turn, it cuts the corner on me and gains distance. Like down here. See? It gains a little bit of distance on you, so if you let it get too close, then it'll fight you in a place you don't want. So now I want to kill it here, that'll explode, and then it'll hit that little suit of armor, which is actually a single white knight enemy. What did I get? Oh, I got 2. That's good luck. Oh, nice damage. That was good luck on the damage. Now he's gonna confuse Harley. Oh, okay. You can confuse Lynx if you want. I don't care. How do you attack with 0 stamina? What?
Based confusion lets you violate the laws of the actual game.
Base confusion is based.
I'm so confused. Okay. Get it? You get it?
I get it.
I got something, but it wasn't that.
And I have a setup to kill this guy quickly because he's really annoying. Because you need to be able to kill him quickly while ensuring that it is Sprig that is the killing blow. Contrary to what you might see online, Sprig does not need to kill it with a physical hit. It just needs to be the killing blow. So I'm going to finish it with an element if things don't go really poorly. And I know sometimes when I do that, my stream viewers get confused.
Sadness wave. Spirits up.
I just got up. I'm gonna do it again.
I'm going to cast Magnify. Then we're going to defend so that Lynx can cast Weak-Minded. And we're going to use Meteorite with Moonbutt. See? Saying it right, just for meta. And I'll make the field white. This is a black enemy, by the way. So now I have field white against the black enemies. Imp, I guess we're calling her, has Photon Beam equipped. And that's going to hit him really hard. And if I got lucky with the other damages, then this will kill it. So it did a little bit less damage than usual. But that's why I equip Upheaval as well. Because the Upheaval should be enough to kill him as well. If not, I'm just going to have to smack him with little weak attacks. Because if I use a Fierce on this guy, his defense is so high that it'll do the same damage as a light attack. Because there's a minimum damage to enemies based on how much strength you have. So she's doing minimum damage with all of her attacks. So attacking with light attacks multiple times does more damage. So yeah, now she can transform into the White Knight.
Based White Knight.
And we also get the Golden Tiara out of that, which is really nice because it sells for 75,000 gold. It's usually not necessary, but depending on your luck throughout the game, you can wind up just a little bit short on one of the things you need to make later on, and then you just sell that, and you're like, good to go, sold one item.
You don't bother proactively selling it.
No, I don't sell it unless I need to.
Oh, high radius.
Yeah, he just sort of appears out of nowhere. When we get to one of the Master Mune cutscenes, not this one, but leading into the actual Master Mune side quest, I'm going to hand you the controller and have you press X while I use the bathroom.
Sounds fun. Let's do it.
It's still a little bit away.
I'm gonna warm up my mashing finger.
It's after the Dead Sea.
There's actually there's a controller on the table somewhere that I could actually be warming up my mashing finger, which is
I don't know where the other two went.
pointless and hilarious.
They should be accessible in case this one decides to freak out.
Or I could do
Okay,
the,
then both right there.
Yeah, there you go.
the
You warm up.
top-down strats.
So for some reason in this game, I don't know what causes it. Every once in a while, to decide that it doesn't want to behave, and then the neutral position on the analog is a different direction instead of neutral. So I let go of the analog, and my character starts running in a direction. But what that means is if I'm holding down and my controller is trying to go right at the same time, it won't let me examine something that's below me. It just doesn't work.
Garai is angry.
So this is a tough boss for some people. He's white elemental, and I'm going to transform into a black elemental monster, so my entire party is white. It is black, because I'm crazy. you're wondering how I'm going to survive Holy Dragon Sword, not Holy Dragon Sword, what is his? I think it's triple cut on this guy. You will find out momentarily. I've already equipped it to Harley, so you should have an idea. Triple cut won't kill him. Oh, it will. Okay.
Well,
No, I need to cast Diminish, so I can't revive him. That sucks. That was that was a situation that happened because of two different bad luck things that happened at the same time. He took his first turn too early. He decided to use triple cut a turn earlier than he can, and he hit White Knight instead of one of the other characters. So that was the triple threat
you couldn't just use
on
it
the triple
Lace.
cut.
Did we mention how big Uriah is?
It's pretty huge.
Really big.
Alright, we're good this time. The reason why I don't run away if he takes his first turn too early is because there's a chance that if he won't use triple cut on that turn, and even if he does, if he hits Lynx, then he's not going to die. Moonbutt will usually survive as well. Nice miss. He is another one of the bosses that will use a physical attack, and the number of attacks he uses, as well as if it's light, medium, or fierce, is completely random. So he used, I think that was his medium attack, and missed. So now we're going to use Diminish, which halves the damage of all elements.
Good time.
And now that does nothing, even though it's an opposing element. Oh, actually, I want to do this first. I almost did this fight wrong. It's a very small thing, but... What? I hit right, it went over the White Knight, I hit right again, and it went over Lynx. Okay, this is going to be an interesting fight now. Yeah, that's not actually possible, thankfully.
Oh, come on.
No. What the hell? This is an instance of, like, animation canceling. I hit X, and then I hit right, and it canceled it before the attack came out. He's behaving pretty well right now, but I do need to cast a heal with Harley to be safe. Otherwise, I could be in a lot of trouble. That's on Lynx, I think? Yeah,
Right.
got saved by Diminish. He's doing much more damage than he normally would. Because I strengthened him on X and don't do it again!
Oh, man.
I do have a revive on Harley, but I prefer to not have to use it.
Huzzah.
No, sometimes he'll do a double physical, like, I've seen him do a lot of different variations on the physical attacks. He might repeat the pattern that he used on that fight, like, so it might stay consistent, but, like, if he uses that first physical attack will be something different every time. So now we have the End Lancer. We also got a Dragoon's Honor, which is a pretty nice accessory. We will be using that on our secondary physical attacker for quite a bit. I can't eat this Take a Bite right now because I'm about to get control. I thought I could. That makes me sad. Because I want another bite of my sandwich.
I'm sad for you. You want a hug?
No, I'm alright.
Okay.
This is actually really hard to walk up. Because the angle is really weird. You'll just like walk into the bottom of it. Thanks for being there. Multiple times.
Thanks for being there for me.
Normally he's not there because I almost never run up the bone perfectly. It's just not a thing that happens. And apparently, if you do, then that will-o-wisp is just completely blocking your path, which is nice to know. And this is